Time heals, but what if it betrays you? Imagine 20 years of marriage, ending in a second. Today, we share stories of people who discovered their partner's double lives after decades. This isn't just cheating. It's the death of a lifetime of trust and memories.
It happened on a Tuesday. My husband of 22 years, Mark, left his old phone in the kitchen drawer. It was an old model, one I thought was broken. But then it vibrated. A message popped up on the lock screen. "Can't wait to see you at the recital tomorrow. Our girl is so excited." My heart didn't just sink, it stopped. We don't have a daughter. We have 2 sons, both in college. I spent the next 4 hours bypassing the simple passcode. What I found wasn't just a fling. It was a digital map of a second life. For 15 years, Mark had another family 2 towns over. A woman named Sarah and a 14-year-old daughter. He had a separate bank account, a separate set of friends, even a different middle name. Every business trip he took for a decade and a half was actually him playing house with them. When he came home that night, I didn't scream. I just laid the phone on the dinner table next to his plate. The look of pure, cold terror in his eyes told me everything. He didn't even try to lie. He just asked, "How long have you known?" I realized then that the man I loved never existed. He was a character played by a stranger. 22 years of my life, erased in a second.
My wife, Helena, was always the organized one. She handled the bills, the taxes, everything. After 15 years, I trusted her blindly. But last year, she had a minor stroke and was hospitalized. I had to take over the finances to keep us afloat. I found an encrypted file on her laptop labeled Home Maintenance 2010 to 2024. I thought it was just receipts for the roof and the kitchen remodel. I tried her birthday as the password. No. Our anniversary. No. Then I tried the date of our first date. It opened. It wasn't maintenance. It was a spreadsheet. A meticulously kept log of every single encounter she had outside our marriage since year 1. There were names, dates, locations, and even performance ratings. But the part that broke me? There was a column for expenses. She had been using our shared retirement fund to buy gifts, hotel rooms, and weekend getaways for these men. Over 15 years, she had spent nearly $80,000 of our future on her secrets. Sitting in that quiet house while she was in the hospital, looking at those rows and columns, I felt like I was suffocating. She wasn't just a cheater. She was a thief of our time and our security. Last Christmas, our eldest son, Leo, thought it would be a fun idea to buy the whole family those DNA ancestry kits. We laughed about it over dinner. My wife, Claire, seemed a bit quiet, but I figured she was just tired from the holidays. 6 weeks later, the results arrived. I opened mine first. Then Leo opened his. He looked at the screen, then at me, then back at the screen. "Dad," he said, his voice trembling, "it says we aren't a match." I laughed. The tech must be wrong, I said. But it wasn't. My wife of 25 years had been hiding a secret that rewrote my entire history. Not only was Leo not my biological son, but his father was someone I knew, someone I trusted more than anyone. The DNA results linked him as a close match to my own brother. My brother and Claire had an affair before we got married, and apparently, it never truly stopped. My son was my nephew. My daughter? She wasn't mine either. My entire identity as a father was a house of cards that Claire had let me build for a quarter of a century. I didn't leave that day. I just sat in the garden and watched the house, wondering how a person can look you in the eye every morning for 9,000 days and never once flinch while living such a massive lie. We were planning our 30th anniversary cruise to the Mediterranean. My husband, David, was a retired accountant, precise, frugal, and seemingly devoted. He always handled our travel bookings. But then, he had a freak accident, a fall that put him in a coma for 2 weeks. I had to access his laptop to cancel the cruise and get our refund. I found his travel folder, but it was empty. No tickets, no reservations. I started digging into our joint savings account, the one we had been building since the 90s for our golden years. The balance was 0. I traced the transfers. For over 10 years, David had been sending $5,000 every month to an offshore account. I followed the digital paper trail, heart hammering against my ribs, until I found a hidden encrypted messaging app. He wasn't just cheating. He had a whole other identity online. He had been supporting a woman and her 3 children in Eastern Europe. He had bought them a house, paid for their private schools, and even funded their vacations. He used our retirement, our children's inheritance, to be a hero to a family he had never even met in person. When he finally woke up in the hospital and saw me sitting there with the bank statements, he didn't apologize. He just looked at me with a cold, distant expression and said, "I was bored of our life. They made me feel alive." 30 years of being a perfect wife, and I was just a background noise to his secret hero fantasy. I realized then that you can sleep next to someone for 10,000 nights and never truly know the ghost living inside them.